Well, are real estate agents overpaid? It's a massive, massive topic of conversation. Why so many people think that we are. We're going to be honest, and we're going to be talking about big commissions, short campaigns, and sold stickers going up. And suddenly everyone thinks the agent just made a fortune for opening a few doors and sending a few texts. This is a big one. Stay tuned.
Good morning.
Good morning, Billy. How are you?
I was a bit nervous to bring this one on air. It's like the taboo topic of how much commission do you make? It's the most awkward conversation.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. And, there's often, if I'm doing an interview, people will say, is there anything that's off the table? And I said, yes. The only thing that's off the table is asking me how much commission I earn. I'm certainly not embarrassed about it. I just think it's an unusual question to ask, how much someone earns. I know we're an industry that's just terrible at this, where we've got awards around it.
Yeah, so
as to how much commission you make, and that apparently defines whether you're successful in this industry or not.
Correct. Yeah, but I guess it's a conversation that we have day in, day out. I mean, we're getting asked this question from all sides. Vendors are curious. They're making decisions. They want to know what the fee is. But yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. No, I don't know many other industries that openly talk about what their fee is on a professional service as much as real estate agents do. That's for sure.
I agree. I mean, I can't imagine at a surgeon's conference that the surgeon gets up on stage and says, well, I earned $1 million this year from performing 100 surgeries, and everyone applauds that. I don't understand. I never understood that. I never understood that in our industry. I never did. But
Trophy.
Billy, I want to actually just break it down, because the reality is that, people, they only actually see the payday. They only see when, the sold sticker goes up. They don't actually see the process behind it. And let's be real, no one is crying for the real estate agent. But I want to just break this down for one moment. I think you've got some quite compelling stats there as to what real estate agents earn. Do you want to just go through that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's such a diverse and generalized statement to say this is what typical agents earn, because there's so many facets of the business. You could be property management on what tends to be a fixed salary. You could be a business development manager, which works on bringing in new rental listings, tends to be a salary plus commission. And then a typical sales agent, and that could be a retainer and a commission structure. There's lots of different structures, or it could just be commission only. But the average is 90 to 110,000. And I think you'll find that aligns with a lot of professional jobs in Sydney.
Yep, I agree. But the hours are absolutely exorbitant. But I think, in many respects, the commission looks massive because it's paid in one hit. It's not like we're amortized out and, we've worked 100 hours that week and we've worked out what our per hourly rate is. Because I think most people would be genuinely surprised. I mean, Billy, you and I actually left a buyer appointment last night at about 9 o'clock. We'd started the day bright and early. I know you started your day at about 7 a.m. So, and there was definitely no going out for fancy lunches or anything like that. And again, no one's crying for the real estate agent, but we just want to talk about a few probably misconceptions here about maybe why real estate agents look overpaid. And as some of those shows that I'm guilty of watching, like Selling Sunset and Lux Listings, maybe are they to blame? Because I think they glamorize it. I don't know. Those girls that, what they wear on Selling Sunset is definitely not what I wear to work.
It sure looks good. But yeah, I think, it is a misconception. It's very easy to see the tip of the iceberg, but you can't see the layers underneath. You can't see what's underwater. Whether it's the hours or the amount of years put into nurturing relationships and being there for someone as a point of contact.
Well, that's exactly right. And, you know, again, social media is really, really good and bad at portraying this as well, because all anyone ever sees on social media is, I've got this great listing coming up and I sold it. We broke a record. We broke the block record, the record, the world record, you know, and it looks like it's all happening so fast. But the reality is, if people actually saw that broken up into an hourly rate, admin, marketing coordination, buyer management, database work, inspections, negotiation, reporting, stress management, and all the hours that actually went into doing that deal that looked like it happened in about 2 minutes, but it actually took endless amounts of work, or it fell over, or the vendor's expectation was super unrealistic. Um, I mean, I've actually been working on something for about 12 months from inception to where it is now. And
Yep.
I haven't even done a single sale on this particular property. Haven't
Yeah.
had a sale. So, you know, you work for free until you get a result.
Yeah. Not to mention the sometimes the overheads and costs that come along with even the opportunity to represent a property. You know, there's times there where marketing bills can come in at sort of 10 to 20,000 on a big campaign like that.
Yeah.
The compliance, you know, to even show up in the first place with the licenses and everything involved. So yes, no one feels bad for the agent, but it's not cheap to turn up. And you know, there are many deals, you know, that don't get reported that, you know, take longer days on market. It's not one size fits all.
And then, you know, what was happening if a property was on the market for 130 days, how many hours actually went into that? And as I said, sometimes there's not even a deal to be done at the end. So, you know, we only get paid on that successful result. But I think the public perception is that agents just put up a sign, do an open home, make a few phone calls and just whack up a sold sticker. But that couldn't be further from the truth. It literally couldn't be further from the truth. And if you just go back to what you said, Billy, at the beginning of the show, for anyone who's just recently tuned in, what was the average pay for a real estate agent? Because
Yeah,
that's quite astounding, actually.
between 90 to 110,000 a year, a year. So I think you'll find that
Yes.
aligns with plenty of professional jobs. But you know, I do encourage you to look at the makeup of that overall package. And you know, very rarely do you see your job go home in your pocket as well. I know mine did last night when I got home at 9:30. You know, you're still able to just check in and dial in on making sure everything's attended to. So it's quite a unique industry, very unique.
Absolutely. And, you know, again, like just that misconception, like the public sees, you know, an agent makes 20,000, 30,000, 100,000, whatever it is, and just pocketed the whole lot. But they, you know, what a lot of people forget to take into account is things like team costs, assistance, marketing time, prospecting calls, listings that didn't sell, the weekend work. I mean, you're doing Saturday and Sunday, Billy. You know,
Yeah,
Saturdays, I mean, most of the time I can't even think about going out on a Saturday night because we're so knackered after running around at these open homes. And again, no one's crying for the real estate agent. We're having a really just open, candid conversations about whether or not, you know, our real estate agents truly overpaid. The weekends work, the unpaid appraisals, petrol, stress, pipelines that can literally dry up overnight. You know, there's so much that goes in under the iceberg. I use a trainer called Lee Woodward, and I sat down with Lee about a year ago and broke down every single aspect of what actually takes place before a listing has even gone out to the public eye. And there were hundreds of actions. That is
yeah,
hundreds and hundreds of hours per listing of stuff that actually was done before that even went out to the public eye. Unpaid work.
yeah. It's you know, that's all built in. So it's you know, I guess when you're coming to make a decision on commission, you 100% do get what you pay for, and and you know, there's something for everyone, different ends of the spectrum.
You know, we're not paid for time either. We're paid for an outcome. And we're only paid for that outcome if it's a successful one. And, you know, there wouldn't be a real estate agent in the country or in the world that has listed a property and it didn't sell for a multitude of reasons. It didn't sell. You know, was a vendor unrealistic? Did the market change? Did a deal fall over because of a purchaser's finance? There's like a million reasons.
Yeah.
And no successful outcome, $0 for the real estate agent. You know, that's the reality. That is the reality of it.
Plus
You know,
the experience is massive. You know, like all services, you can choose a high route and a low route, and they both tend to get you from A to B. But you know, you're dealing with your biggest financial asset at most of the time, so you better make sure you're giving it someone with good hands, and also if someone can alleviate the stress or you know manage that process effectively for you. Oh, I can't tell you how many times we see it on the good side where people say we're just so happy we made the decision. You know, to
yeah.
go with that gut feeling as well, and not penny pinch.
No, that's exactly right. And look, you know, commissions range as well. I think that's probably a great topic for another conversation. But commissions seriously can change. Where we're based on the Northern Beaches, the average commission is sitting somewhere between 1.5 to 2% plus GST. I've always been very open and candid about what I do. I actually offer up what's called a flexi fee. I let my vendors choose what commission they would like to pay me. It's almost like a trust process where I trust that they will remunerate me accordingly based on the service and the results that I get for them and I give to them.
Yeah,
But you know, they do change. They do change considerably from state to state. But yeah, no, it's an interesting topic of conversation. So it's definitely nothing at all like Lux listings or selling sunset, that's for sure. It definitely is not. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It's an awesome industry. It really is. I would not change
yeah,
it for the world, even though most of us, you and me, Billy included, we work about 100 hours a week.
yeah. Look, it's a hard conversation to find in an open forum. So we wanted to bring it on air, chat about it, and you can leave your own opinion here.
Absolutely. All right, Billy, have an awesome day. A little bit bleary eyed this morning. As I said, funny that we're talking about our real estate agents overpaid. We worked yesterday from 7 a.m. until at least 10 p.m. last night, and can't remember getting paid a single cent for it yet.
Not yet, but you know that's the beauty, guys. We're here to back it up again today. So
That's
let's
it
just
exactly. Excited, can't wait. Guys, have an awesome day. Billy, thanks as always.
see you later.